Marcus Cole was digging through the rubble of what used to be his daughter's school when the Kethrani shuttle landed. He didn't look up. There was nothing left to look at anyway. The Imperial bombardment had been thorough, reducing the colony of New Horizon to ash and memory in a single afternoon. 3,000 people. His wife. His daughter. His entire world. Gone. The shuttle's engines whined down, and footsteps crunched through the debris. Cole kept digging, pulling aside chunks of concrete and twisted metal, searching for something he knew he wouldn't find. "You should not be here." The voice was female, speaking accented standard. Cole finally looked up. She stood alone among the ruins, tall, silver-skinned, dressed in simple clothes rather than military uniform. No guards. No weapons. No escort. Just a Kethrani woman, watching him with eyes that glowed faint amber in the smoke-filled twilight. "This is my colony," Cole said. "Where else would I be? This is a war zone. Kethrani forces control this sector. Then arrest me. Or shoot me. I don't really care which." She studied him for a long moment. "You are Marcus Cole, chief engineer of New Horizon." "Was. Your colony's distress signal was broadcast before our ships arrived. You sent it. I sent a lot of things. Distress signals. Evacuation warnings. Pleas for mercy." His voice cracked. None of them mattered. The woman moved closer, picking her way through the rubble with careful steps. When she reached him, she crouched, bringing her eyes level with his. "I am Syrath," she said. "High Commander of the 3rd Imperial Fleet." Cole stared at her. You're the one who ordered the bombardment." "Yes." He lunged for her. She didn't move, didn't defend herself. His hands closed around her throat, and she simply let him. Her amber eyes met his without fear, without anger, without anything but a terrible, hollow acceptance. "Do it," she said quietly. "I came here alone for this purpose, to give you the chance." His hands trembled. "Why?" "Because I deserve it. Because 3,000 innocent people are dead because I gave an order. Because I looked at tactical data and saw targets instead of lives. Then why aren't you fighting back? Because fighting back would be easy." Her voice was steady despite the pressure on her throat. "And nothing about this should be easy." Cole's grip loosened. He released her and sat back heavily. Something breaking inside him that he hadn't known was still intact. "I can't," he said. "I can't kill you. I want to. God, I want to. But you are not a killer." Syrath rubbed her throat, but her expression held no relief. "I read your file. Engineer. Husband. Father. You built things. You helped people. You never served in any military capacity. My daughter was 6. I know. She was learning to read. She loved stories about space explorers." His voice broke completely. She wanted to be like her dad. Build things. Help people. Syrath was silent for a long moment. "I came here to die," she said finally. "Her empire bombed my colony. She walked into the ruins alone." That was supposed to be the story. An act of atonement. A commander accepting responsibility for her crimes. And instead, I found you. And I realized that dying is the coward's way. She stood, extending her hand. "I cannot bring back what I destroyed. I cannot undo what I have done. But I can help you survive. And perhaps in time, I can help you rebuild." Cole looked at her hand. "Why would I trust you? You should not. I am your enemy. I am the reason your daughter is dead." Her amber eyes held his. "But I am also the only person in this sector with the power to protect what remains of your people. The evacuation ships are holding 300 survivors in orbit. My fleet is deciding whether to destroy them or let them go. 300? Out of 3,000? They are all that remains. And they are alive only because I have not yet given the order to fire. You're holding them hostage. I'm holding them as leverage. To convince you to let me help." Cole's mind raced. 300 survivors. His neighbors. His friends. The remnants of everything he'd built. "What do you want?" "I want redemption. I want to look at myself without seeing a monster. I want to believe that some part of what I have done can be undone." She kept her hand extended. "Help me, Marcus Cole. Hate me if you must. But let me try to make this right." He took her hand. The survivors were released to a neutral station, where Terran relief ships could collect them. Syrath made it happen with a single encrypted transmission, overriding the protests of her subordinates with the weight of her rank. Cole watched through the station's observation window as the transport ships docked. 300 people, dazed and traumatized, stumbling into the arms of rescue workers. Your fleet wanted to kill them, he said. My fleet follows orders. Syrath stood beside him, her presence somehow less threatening than it had been in the ruins. The orders now say to release them. So they are released. Just like that. Command has benefits. Benefits you used to bomb colonies. She didn't flinch. Yes, I did. She turned to face him. I have commanded ships for 40 years, Marcus Cole. I have won battles. I have lost friends. I have done things that would horrify you and things that might impress you. But I have never questioned whether I was right. Until now. What changed? You did not kill me. She said it simply like a statement of fact. You had every right. Every reason. Your hands were on my throat, and I was ready to die. But you stopped. I told you. I'm not a killer. No. You are something else. Something I do not have a word for. She looked back at the survivors. My people believe in strength. In victory. In the righteous dominance of the superior species. We do not have a concept for mercy. And yet you're showing it now. Am I? Or am I simply trying to buy my way out of guilt? Her laugh was bitter. I do not know anymore. I do not know what I am. Cole watched the last of the survivors board the rescue ships. Somewhere in that crowd were people he'd worked with, shared meals with, celebrated holidays with. They were alive because of the woman standing next to him. The woman who had destroyed everything else. My daughter's name was Emma, he said quietly. She had red hair, like her mother. She hated vegetables but loved fruit. She used to draw pictures of spaceships and leave them on my desk. Syrath was silent. I'm not telling you this so you can feel worse. I'm telling you because she deserved to be more than a number. More than 3,000 casualties. She was a person. I know. Do you? Can you really understand what you took from me? No. Her voice was soft. I do not think I can. I have never had a child. I have never loved anything the way you loved her. She paused. But I'm trying to understand. That is why I am here. Understanding isn't enough. I know. But it is a beginning. The rescue ships detached from the station, beginning their journey toward Terran space. Cole watched until they were out of sight. What happens now? He asked. Now I face the consequences of my actions. My fleet will report my behavior to High Command. They will want to know why I released prisoners without authorization. Why I walked into enemy territory alone. Why I am consorting with a human instead of returning to my duties. And what will you tell them? The truth. That I have done something unforgivable, and I'm trying to find a way to live with it. That won't satisfy them. No doubt. It will not. She turned to face him fully. I may be relieved of command. I may be executed for treason. I do not know. But I know that I cannot go back to being what I was. What were you? A weapon. An instrument of empire. Her amber eyes held something that might have been pain. I was very good at it. And I was very proud. And now I look at what my pride has cost, and I cannot breathe. Cole studied her face. You know what I think? What? I think you're still a weapon, but weapons can be pointed at different targets. He hesitated, then made a decision. The survivor fleet is going to need protection. Terran space is still weeks away, and there are plenty of people who might want to finish what you started. You want me to protect them. I want you to prove that you're more than what you've done. And maybe, he took a breath, maybe I want to see if redemption is actually possible, for either of us. High Command's response came 3 days later. Syrath was recalled for tribunal, her command suspended pending investigation. She received the orders in her quarters, Cole standing nearby. He'd become a strange constant in her life, a reminder of what she'd done, but also something else. A witness to whatever she was becoming. I have to go, she said, setting down the tablet. I know, the tribunal will not be favorable. I have released prisoners without authorization, endangered Imperial assets, and associated with an enemy combatant. Me? Yes. She almost smiled. You are quite the scandal, Marcus Cole. I've been called worse. I do not doubt it. She stood facing him. I want you to know, whatever happens at the tribunal, I do not regret what I have done. These past days helping your people, talking with you, I have felt more alive than I have in years. Even though everyone you work with thinks you've lost your mind, especially because of that. Her expression softened. You asked me why I walked into those ruins alone. The truth is, I was hoping you would kill me. I wanted an ending. Instead, I found something else. What? A beginning. She reached out, touching his face with cool fingers. You have shown me that it is possible to survive the unsurvivable. You lost everything, and you are still standing, still fighting, still human. Barely, no, completely. No. Her amber eyes held his. That is your species' gift, I think. The ability to endure. To rebuild. To hope when hope is irrational. Is that what I'm doing? Hoping? I do not know. What do you hope for? Cole considered the question. I hope that Emma's death meant something. That it wasn't just random cruelty. I hope that this, whatever this is, leads somewhere better. He paused. I hope you survive the tribunal. Do you? I do. And I hate that I do. But I can't seem to stop. The shuttle arrived to take Syrath back to Kethrani space. She boarded alone as she'd arrived, but this time Cole walked her to the airlock. If I survive, she said, I will find you. And if you don't, then remember that I tried. That is all I ask. She stepped through the airlock. The doors closed between them. Cole watched the shuttle depart, feeling something he hadn't felt since the bombardment. Fear. But not fear for himself. Fear for her. The tribunal lasted 4 weeks. Cole followed it through intercepted communications and smuggled reports, piecing together what was happening from fragments of information. Syrath was charged with treason, dereliction of duty, and conduct unbecoming an officer. The prosecution demanded execution. She defended herself with cold precision, arguing that her actions had served imperial interests by preventing an incident that could have escalated into full-scale war. The 300 survivors, he pointed out, were now living proof of Kethrani mercy. A propaganda victory that outweighed any tactical losses. It was a brilliant argument. It was also a lie. Cole knew it. She knew it. Everyone in that tribunal chamber knew it. But it worked. The verdict came down on day 30, guilty of unauthorized action, but sentence commuted to loss of rank and permanent assignment to diplomatic duties. She would never command a fleet again. But she would live. The message arrived at Cole's temporary quarters 3 hours later. A single line of text, no sender identification. I survived. Coming to find you. She arrived 2 weeks later, aboard a diplomatic vessel that had no business being anywhere near Terran space. The Kethrani Empire and the Terran Accord were not at war anymore. Syrath's testimony at the tribunal had triggered a cascade of political reassessments, but they were hardly allies. The meeting happened on neutral ground, a trade station that served both species. Cole saw her first. She looked different, smaller somehow, without the weight of command on her shoulders. Her silver skin was paler, and there were lines around her eyes that hadn't been there before. She saw him a moment later. Neither of them moved for a long moment. You came, she said finally. I said I would. Many things are said during crises. They are not always meant. I meant it. He crossed the distance between them. You look terrible. Thank you. That is very comforting. I mean, you look tired. The tribunal was unpleasant, but educational. She managed to smile. I learned a great deal about what happens when one develops a conscience. It is deeply unpopular. I can imagine. They stood in awkward silence. I do not know what comes next, Syrath admitted. I have no command, no fleet, no clear purpose. I have spent 40 years knowing exactly who I was. And now you're figuring it out. Cole reached out, taking her hand. Join the club. I've been figuring it out since the bombardment. And have you figured it out? Some of it. I know I want to rebuild New Horizon. I know I want to honor Emma's memory by creating something instead of destroying something. And I know... He hesitated. What? I know I don't want to do it alone. Her amber eyes searched his face. You would accept my help? After everything I have done, you walked into the ruins alone. You gave me the chance to kill you. You saved 300 people and destroyed your career to do it. He squeezed her hand. I'm not saying I forgive you. I'm not sure I can. But I'm saying that whatever you're becoming, I want to be part of it. Even if it leads nowhere, even then. Syrath looked at their joined hands. Her empire bombed my colony. She walked into the ruins alone, she murmured. That was supposed to be an ending. My ending. And instead, it became something else. She looked up at him, and for the first time since they'd met, he saw something like hope in her eyes. A beginning. For both of us. I have no idea what I'm doing, Cole admitted. Neither do I. Her smile was small but real. Perhaps we can figure it out together. The trade station hummed around them. Countless species going about their business, indifferent to the two people standing at the center of something impossible. Cole didn't know what the future held. He didn't know if he could ever fully forgive her, or if she could ever fully atone. He didn't know if New Horizon could be rebuilt, or if Emma's memory could be honored in any meaningful way. But for the first time since the bombs fell, he felt something other than grief. He felt possibility. And for now, that was enough.